Herd instinct is a mob behavior, a crowd behavior. That is herd instinct. To put it very simply, when a person is walking, when a human being is walking all by oneself, that person will not have courage to take the stone and throw at the police. When the same person is walking in a crowd of 5,000, gets the strength, and they start throwing stone. Where does the strength come from? The crowd. Are you able to follow? What is herd instinct means now? A behavior that is determined by the crowd. A behavior that is determined by the crowd is called herd instinct. Crowd means somebody before you doing that, and you also follow that. That's what the herds do. The first one takes the right, the whole lot will take to the right. The first one takes to the left, the whole lot will take to the left. No questions asked. That is herd. This sheep mentality, this herd mentality is a very good, it gives you a very good feel of security, a false sense of security. Because of that false sense of security that the crowd gives, they always fall. That is called herd. That's called herd instinct. It gives you a very cozy personality. It gives you a very convenient, appears to be very obedient, appears to be very all that. But in and through all that, there is none of this. It is simply a herd instinct. Most people, I'll give you some indicators of herd instincts. Then you will understand what is being discussed here. Have you ever observed most people don't have a problem with you thinking independently? As long as your thinking is in agreement with their beliefs. Again, I repeat. புரியுதா நான் சொல்றது? Everybody will say, I give freedom to others. I allow everybody to think. But actually, it doesn't happen like that. Why? As long as your conclusions are same as mine. As long as your conclusions are same as mine, I will allow you to think. As long as your conclusions are not in agreement with my conclusion, you are not allowed to think. And a human being finds it very convenient to follow the conclusion of somebody. That's what he calls it as intellectual slumber. In herd instinct, there is a convenience. In herd instinct, there is a convenience. Convenience of not having to take responsibility at all for what you do. Don't blame the world only. Herd instinct society is influencing everybody. Not that. Why, in spite of all this, the human being finds it very convenient to be following the herd? Because they don't have to take any responsibility. Why? Sir, they told me to do, I did. That person asked me to do, I did. Therefore, it is their fault, not mine. Are you able to follow? Very difficult to say I made a choice and I take responsibility for. You cannot do that. You have to go and blame somebody. That's why herd instinct is a very convenient tool for that. And invariably, you can always find something from somebody. Oh, what can she do? Ami. Huh? Poor thing. What can she do? Because whatsoever is said, it can be used. The herd instinct will turn back and use it. Because what is herd instinct? They told me to do, I did. So if anything goes wrong, it is a mistake. If anything goes right, huh? If anything goes right, enache. That is mine. If anything goes right, it is mine. If things go wrong, yeah. Carefully follow. If you act like a sheep, you will become the scapegoat. It's a law. Again, I repeat, if you act like a sheep, herd instinct, you will become a scapegoat. You cannot escape that. It's a law. Therefore, the intellect is given to a human being not to fall a victim to the herd instinct. Herd instinct doesn't mean going out and calling everything as coming out of herd instinct doesn't mean you go and call everything as wrong. You don't say the society is wrong. You don't start everything. You don't become a political commentator, calling everything as. That is not coming out of herd instinct. Then what is coming out of herd instinct? A mechanical, robotic way of pattern always suits the mind. Because mind will turn everything into robotic at some point of time. In that robotic way of functioning, the mind feels comfortable. Why? Because then only it can ramble. Then only it can wander. Then only it can ramble. Otherwise, alertness and awareness is very difficult to the mind. So in order to escape that alertness and awareness, all that you have to do is what? Follow the herd. Herd means somebody has said it simply, or simply follow. You cannot follow like that. You cannot. Where this lack of intellectual application happens, definitely there is going to be an animosity. Just for the sake of understanding purposes, use two words. Both can be used interchangeably in the English language. But to distinguish the concept, I am using these two words in a very different sense. The two words to understand herd instinct is, one, you can call it as individuality. Another, you can call it as personality. Just use two words. Don't look into the dictionary meaning. I am using it in a very special, unique sense to bring a distinction. Individuality means that which you are. Personality means that which is imposed by the society. That which is imposed is personality. That which you have is individuality. That individuality in Vedanta is what we call as Swabhava. Your nature, we say. Are you able to follow? So there is this thing called individuality, and there is something called that is imposed by the society. Always there will be a problem between society and individuality, because society will want personalities. society will not want individual, because individuality means asserting certain things. Independence. Personality means following the, it is, a society can be convenient if all are herds. If all are converted into a sheep, there can be an order in the society. Religion comes and says that's a very unnatural, suffocated, depressed order. Even though from outside it may look like an order, in reality it causes suffocation, depression, etc. Therefore, what is the right way then? Personality, sheep nu vechukongo. Individuality, tiger, lion. Understand it like that. Personality, understand, don't get confused with your English vocabulary of personality and individuality. Ram Subramaniam, purida? He's the only irritating person in the class. Individuality and personality. That which is given collective. Personality means you are so carried away by anything and everything around you. Not that you are genuinely convinced about it. You are following because it suits you. It suits your lethargy. It suits your laziness. Are you able to follow? Herd instinct doesn't mean anybody following a law out of, it's not somebody following a law out of an understanding. It is everybody follows because it simply suits them. It's so easy. That is called herd. That is called herd instinct.